Why are global Black resistance narratives missing from history books? Imagine a world where stories of bravery, rebellion, and resilience from Black communities across the globe are often left out of the history books you grew up with. It might surprise you to learn that many of these stories are missing or minimized. The reason is rooted in how history has been written and who controls that story. For centuries, powerful groups, mostly white Europeans and Americans, have shaped what gets recorded and taught. Their goal was often to highlight their own achievements while silencing others. This means stories of Black resistance from Africa, the Caribbean, Latin America, and even Europe have been pushed aside or ignored altogether. One big reason is the dominance of European-centered views in history. These perspectives tend to focus on European experiences and ideas, making it harder to see the unique ways Black people resisted oppression. For example, African traditions of rebellion and cultural resistance are often overlooked because they don't fit into Western ideas of political protest or military rebellion. Instead, resistance in the African diaspora includes slave rebellions, abolitionist movements, and cultural preservation, but these are rarely given the same attention. Another factor is the rewriting of history by groups opposed to racial justice. After the American Civil War, organizations like the United Daughters of the Confederacy worked hard to promote the lost cause narrative. This version of history glorified the Confederacy and downplayed the brutality of slavery. They influenced textbooks to exclude or distort Black resistance stories, making it seem like Black people had little agency or impact. This effort to erase or distort history continues in many parts of the world today. In addition, mainstream history often focuses on a few well-known figures or events within the United States. It rarely highlights the global scope of Black resistance. Movements in the Caribbean, Latin America, Africa, and Europe are often left out, even though they are deeply connected. These struggles share common themes of fighting slavery, colonialism, and racial discrimination, but they are rarely presented as part of a larger story. Black colleges and universities have played a vital role in preserving these stories. Black scholars and community leaders have worked hard to keep the history of resistance alive. But the mainstream education system still often leaves out these perspectives, which limits students' understanding of how Black resistance has shaped the world. To change this, educational systems need to include more stories from the African diaspora. This means recognizing how Black movements across the globe influenced each other and contributed to the fight for justice. It also involves challenging biased textbooks and encouraging a broader view of history that includes the voices of those who resisted oppression. Understanding this bigger picture helps us see that Black resistance is not just a U.S. story. It is part of a global movement that spans continents and centuries. When we include these stories, we get a richer, more accurate picture of history. It shows how Black communities everywhere have fought for freedom, dignity, and equality. Recognizing this interconnected resistance helps us appreciate the resilience and strength of Black people worldwide.